This first exercise asks me to determine the simplified expression of the revenue. For doing this, I had to subtract the cost with income. So, having this information, I have to simplify it. So, the cost has a 6, but the 6 doesn't have a factor that has an absolute root, a square root. So, I leave it like that. Then, I need to simplify the x to the fifth by dividing it by the index. The index is 2, so I try to divide by 2, but x to the fifth can be divided by 2, so I leave an x inside the square root, and now I divided x to the 4 in between 2, and it gives me an amount of 2, and I put it outside, and that will be my cost. Then, in the income, it is a much larger process. I have to find the factors of 54 and 24. The factors of 54 are 9 and 6, 9 being the one with the absolute square root. And in 24, its factors are 6 and 4, 6 times 4, the 4 being the one with the absolute square root of 2. So here is 3 and here is 2. Here are the examples replacing it for the factors, and then I put the square root here, outside, and here. And we multiply it by the one that was already outside, and that gives me an amount of 6. Then I have to replace or divide the x that is inside. So x cubic can be divided by 2. So I leave an x inside, and now I divide it by 2. x squared divided by 2 is 2. No, is 1. Sorry. And I put it outside. So as if I already had an x outside, I just have to add these two, and it will give me x to the square. And here we didn't have nothing to divide, so we leave it like that. And then we just have to add these two quantities, and it will give me an income of 2x squared times the square root of 6x. And well, the problem asks me to find the revenue, and for finding it, I have to subtract the cost to its income. So the income is 12x squared times the square root of 6x, and I have to subtract the cost, that is 3x squared times the square root of 6x, and that will give me a revenue of 9x squared times the square root of 6x. Then the second problem asks me just to replace the x values for hundreds. So I had an x to the square and an x here in the square root. So I do 100 times 100, or 100 to the square. That is 10,000. And here I just replace it by 100, and the 6 is multiplying the 100, so it will be 600. Then I just have to multiply everything. First, it is the 9 times the 10,000, so it is 90,000. And the square root of 60, it is not absolute, but it is 24.49. And multiplying this, it will give me an amount of 2,002,100. And that will be it. Thank you.
Here you see that I have a trapeze, and the up side of the trapeze is 5 cubic root of 54. that's equal to 15 cubic root of 2. The left side, I have 2 cubic root of 16, that is equal 4 cubic root of 2. On the right side, I have cubic root of 128, that's equal to 4 cubic root of 2. And at the lower side, I have 3 square root, no, cubic root of 250, and that's equal 15 cubic root of 2. And that combined is equal to 38 cubic root of 2.
In this exercise, we need to calculate the area of the rectangle. To do this, we need to multiply the two values um, of base and height. Um, to multiply this, we need to multiply 5 times 6 square root times 2 times 6 square root, and the answer is 60. Then we multiply 6 square root times 3 square root of 2, and the answer is 30 square root of 3. Then we multiply minus 3 square root of 8 times 2 square root of 6, and the answer is minus 60 square root of 3. Then we multiply minus 3 square root of 8 times 3 square root of 2, and the answer is 36. After that, we need to simplify the, these four terms, and the answer is 24 minus 30 square root of 3.
So to simplify this answer, we need to find two numbers that multiplied, and that one has the one that has the square root of 2. So uh, we found 64 times 3, and 64 goes out as 8, and then we divided the x 2 to by 2, so it gave gave us x, and we separated y in y4 and in y. So then y4 divided by 2 is y2, and inside we only have 3y, and that's the simplest form.